There are very few spaces built for Black women who are always needed but rarely supported. You don't have space to think about your own life and progress because something is always pulling you back into never-ending cycles. But the more you respond, the less your life is being decided with intention by you. So now your days are full to the brim, but not in a way that moves your life forward towards your actual goals. There are very few spaces built for Black women who are always needed but rarely supported. This is one of them. So if your life doesn't feel like your own anymore, this is not something that you should ignore. You don't have space to think about your own life and progress because something is always pulling you back into never-ending cycles. And it's not stopping. It's not one big thing. It's constant. Responsibilities, last-minute interruptions, people and environments needing something from you. And every time you try to focus on yourself, something comes up and you respond. And it's not because you want to lose yourself in all of these things, but it's because it feels necessary. But the more you respond, the less your life is being decided with intention by you. And after a while, you don't even realize that it's happening. So now your days are full to the brim, but not in a way that moves your life forward towards your actual goals. And if nothing interrupts this pattern, this becomes your life. And nothing about this pattern slows down on its own. And this is exactly where most Black women get stuck. And it's not because we don't see that something needs to change, but it's because we don't feel like we currently have a choice to do something differently. Because it feels like if you stop what you're doing, everything will fall apart. So you keep going. But what's actually happening is we've been conditioned to treat everything like it's urgent. So you don't pause, you don't question what comes up, you don't even really decide. You just reactively respond. And after a while, that does start to feel normal. It feels like it's just what life requires, and this is what it looks like to be a responsible adult. But really look at what it's costing you. You don't have time for your own life. You can't focus long enough to build anything for yourself that creates real relief, leverage, or more control. You're tired, but you never actually get the rest your body needs. And most of what you're doing isn't actually building the return on your investment that you're working so hard for. And even if you wanted to change it, you don't really even know where to start. So you keep moving. And that's the trap. Because the answer is not just to stop doing everything on a dime. You can't. That's not sensible or practical. Your life is already in motion and you have real needs and real responsibilities. But that doesn't mean you're stuck either. What you actually need is a way to start shifting this pattern without everything in your life falling apart. And no, we're not talking about doing this all at once and not in a way that creates chaos, but in a way that gives you your time, your energy, and your direction back. And that's exactly what I've been working behind the scenes to create. There is nothing else built to break this down specifically for Black women the way that I'm going to do it. And what I'm creating is not with Black women as an afterthought, and it's not created for a general audience. This is being built around how this pattern actually shows up in your real life. And inside what I'm creating, you're not just going to understand the problem. We're going to identify exactly what's taking your time, what's shaping your decisions, and what needs to change first. And we're doing all of this so that you can start creating space and relief to start implementing the change you need immediately. And I'm creating this because I've seen this shift happen. I've walked through this process with women who have felt exactly the way I described and watched them move from survival-based decision making to creating real leverage, ownership, and relief within their own life. And they didn't do this by dropping everything or blowing up their life, but by changing how they respond to the external pressures in their life. And that's when things really start to shift in your favor. Because if nothing interrupts this cycle, it will not fix itself. It just keeps building in the same direction. So this is a decision. Do you want to keep moving inside of a life that doesn't feel like your own, a life that doesn't give back as much as you put in, or do you want to start changing it in ways that you can actually sustain? So you either continue the pattern or you interrupt it. So if you're ready for your life to actually reflect what you're capable of, the Strategic Clarity Intensive is for you. This is where you'll see exactly where your time is going, what's been shaping your decisions, and what needs to change first. And we're doing this so that you can make the shift in a real, grounded way. I'm building this intentionally and I'm keeping the space small. So if you know that this is what you need, I invite you to join the waiting list. And for those of you who join the waiting list, I'll send you early access as soon as it opens. Because your life shouldn't feel like something that you're constantly trying to catch up to. It should feel like something you're actually living.